The story begins with a matchmaker named Lucy. Lucy was an expert at setting up marriages for people in New York. She spent her entire day asking men and women how their dates went. But right now, a guy is saying that he didn't like the girl Lucy set him up with at all. While on the other hand, the girl says she really liked the guy. She looked really happy. So Lucy had to tell her the truth, that the guy didn't like her that much. Lucy says, "No worries, I'll find you another date." She then tells her about another guy named Mark. But Sophie didn't like his height. She says, "He's claiming to be 5 feet 11 inches, but I'm sure he's actually 5 feet 9 inches. Lucy tells her, "A couple of inches don't matter. Just go on the date with him." Meanwhile, Lucy's company was celebrating her achievements. 2 of her clients were about to get married, and Lucy had successfully arranged a total of 9 weddings. She and her colleague were talking about Sophie, saying that the girl is just okay in everything. Nothing about her really stands out. And that's exactly why Lucy wants to get her married. She says, she's a good girl. Then they start talking about height-increasing surgeries, that these days, guys are getting surgeries to grow as much as 6 inches taller. Lucy says, anyone who can afford it definitely should go for it. The scene then shifts to a wedding that Lucy had arranged. Here we meet a guy named Harry. He overhears Lucy talking to a group of women from a distance. Lucy was explaining to them how choosing the right partner is really important. Impressed by her words, all those women gave her their business cards. But just then, there's a problem. The bride, Charlotte, is lying in bed, looking upset and unwilling to get ready. She's clearly unhappy and running late for the wedding. She's having doubts about the wedding. She says, "I'm a modern woman. I could have done anything with my life. But here I am, getting married." Lucy says, "I understand. But tell me, why don't you want to get married? Tell me and I'll get you out of here." Charlotte replies, "I have to get married. So much money has already been spent." So Lucy says, "Okay, then tell me, why do you want to marry Peter? Whatever your reason is, it'll stay safe with me." Charlotte confesses, "Because when my sister sees Peter, she gets jealous. She thinks he looks better than her husband and earns more, which makes me feel like I've won." Lucy asks, "So do you really want to marry him?" Charlotte says, "Yes." And the wedding happens. After the ceremony, Lucy meets Harry. Harry was Peter's brother. He tells Lucy, "I overheard you talking to those women earlier. It was really impressive. You were very convincing in getting them to use your services." Harry then asks Lucy about her job. He says, "So you must know a lot about love, right?" Lucy replies, "I know a lot about dating. Dating is really tough. It's like trial and error. There's risk and pain involved. But love is easy. It just happens." Lucy even tries to recruit Harry, saying he'd be a great match for a lot of her clients. Harry was 6 feet tall and rich. But just then, Lucy's ex-boyfriend John shows up, carrying her favorite drink. He's now working as a waiter. Lucy and John meet again. After the wedding, Lucy goes outside to talk to John. John asks, "So, how did you pair these two?" Lucy replies, "They had similar economic backgrounds, same political views, they were equally attractive, and both came from rich families." John says, "Well, I'm broke and come from a terrible family. Does that mean we're soulmates?" Lucy says, "Probably." That's when we find out that John wanted to be an actor, but things weren't working out. So now he's doing odd jobs to get by. Lucy says, "I missed you." John asks, "Are you seeing anyone?" Lucy says, "No." Then John steps closer and says, "I missed you too." He asks, "Can I give you a ride home after this is over?" Lucy says, "Sure." Lucy heads back inside. She gives Harry her card, saying, "I can help find someone for you too." But Harry says, "I don't want to hire you. I want to date you." Lucy replies, "You won't want to date me, because now I only date to get married, and I want to marry someone very rich." Just then, John shows up again, watching them from a distance. Then Lucy and John get into the car together. She says, "Your car still smells the same as before." We're taken back to a few years ago, when Lucy and John were dating. It was their 5-year anniversary. But John was running late for their restaurant reservation because he couldn't find cheap parking. They start arguing over it. Lucy gets upset and steps out of the car. She says, "I don't want to hate you for being poor, but right now I do." Lucy had wanted to celebrate their 5-month anniversary properly back then, but even that hadn't worked out. Now we come back to the present day. John drops Lucy off at her home. Lucy asks, "Do you want to come inside?" John says, "I want to, but I probably shouldn't." As he leaves, Lucy tells him, "Invite me to your play." The next day, Lucy was back to work. Now here, 48-year-old men want 27-year-old girlfriends. Someone else wants a fit and slim girlfriend. Alongside all this, Lucy also started going on dates with Harry. Lucy wasn't really interested in dating Harry at first, but slowly they started getting closer. Harry would take Lucy to expensive places. He was the complete opposite of John. He brought Lucy luxurious flowers, and she even started liking the way he paid the bill. She said, "You're spending a lot of money on me." Harry replied, "I'm just trying to make our dates romantic." To which Lucy said, "You could find a much better girl than me." She told him, "In our industry, guys like you are called unicorns. You're like a fantasy, the kind of guy women dream about. You're perfect. You have the ideal income, ideal education, the height, everything. You're extremely wealthy. You're a 10 out of 10 in every category. I don't understand why you're into me. You could easily get someone younger and prettier. I'm actually in debt. You won't even get anything from me in terms of dowry. If we go by the market standards, I'm not the girl you should be marrying." But none of that mattered to Harry. He said, "I don't care about any of that. I want someone I can respect, someone who knows the world better than I do. And I think you have all of that. And those qualities of yours will only grow with time. As for money, I already have more than enough of my own." Harry then asked Lucy if she wanted to take things more seriously, and Lucy agreed. They both went to Harry's villa together. It was a massive, luxurious place. Lucy couldn't stop staring at it. She accidentally dropped her phone there, right when John was calling her. Back in the villa, Harry asked Lucy about her dream vacation, and offered to take her there. Lucy asked, "How much did this apartment cost?" Harry said, $12 million. The scene then shifts to the next day at John's place. He was sharing the house with his friends, and the condition of the place was terrible. The house wasn't livable at all. John was completely fed up with it. Meanwhile, Lucy woke up in the fancy apartment. Her breakfast was already prepared. Harry handed her the apartment keys and left for work. Lucy sat down and started working from there. But her client, Sophie, wasn't answering the phone. So Lucy called the guy Sophie had gone on a date with, Mark. She says, "Sophie's not picking up. Can you at least tell me how your date went?" Mark says, "The date went really well. Sophie is exactly the kind of girl I was looking for." Mark was even ready to go on a second date with Sophie. And that's when Lucy listened to a voice note from John. He was inviting her to come see his play. But when Lucy got to the office, she found out that Sophie had filed a case against their company. Because the guy Lucy had set her up with, Mark, had assaulted her. Lucy's boss told her very clearly, "You are not to speak to Sophie. And this wasn't your fault. Things like this happen in our industry. It's even happened to me before." But for Lucy, this wasn't something she could just accept. She started panicking. She went into the bathroom and began looking up information on Mark, thinking, "How could I have made this mistake?" Lucy started crying. Later, she went with Harry to John's play. While performing, John noticed the two of them sitting together in the audience. After the play, Lucy introduced John to Harry as her boyfriend. She also complimented John's acting skills, saying, "I was never as good as you. And now you're even better than before." So John asked Lucy about Harry. He said, "Wow, he's rich. He probably has a real job. Owns his own house." Lucy said, "Can we talk about something else?" And just by looking at her, John could tell that Lucy was upset. Lucy said, "I don't think I'm very good at my job anymore." John replied, "Don't stress out too much. Your job is dating. It's not that serious." Hearing that, Lucy got angry. "Oh right, dating's never serious, is it? The next day, Lucy started acting very differently at work. She was giving rude replies to her clients' demands. Your expectations are way too high. You're looking for a person, not some customized object. Because of this rude behavior, Lucy's boss told her to take a few days off, saying, "You're still clearly affected by everything that happened." But Lucy said, "If I take a break now, I might never come back." She was completely fed up with her job. Still, her boss tried to explain, "We help people get married. And the reason people have so many demands is because they're choosing someone to spend their whole life with." After hearing all that, Lucy left the office. Despite her boss telling her not to, she went to meet Sophie anyway. When Sophie saw her, she walked right past her. But Lucy followed her. Sophie said, "I thought we were friends, but now I don't even know what to say." Lucy said, "I'm sorry. I didn't know he would do something like that." Sophie replied, "You knew his salary. You knew his height," which was a lie. But somehow, you didn't know what kind of man he was. Sophie started blaming Lucy. "How could you set me up with someone like that?" She continued, "I bet you see me as worthless merchandise, which is why you just handed me off to anyone." Angry and hurt, Sophie walked away. Sophie's words had completely broken Lucy. She called John, and John, dropping everything, listened to her. Lucy told John everything, that she had made a huge mistake. John asked, "Should I come over?" But Lucy said no. "I'm going to Harry's place." They were supposed to leave for a vacation. And there, while packing with Harry, Lucy saw a ring he had bought for her. That night, Lucy noticed a mark on Harry's leg. Harry woke up and left the room. Lucy followed him. The mark was from the height-increasing surgery. Lucy said, "I understand. I've had 2 surgeries myself." She then learned that Harry and his brother, the one who got married earlier, both had the same surgery. Harry told her, "That surgery changed our lives. Now women approach us first." Lucy was left deep in thought. She told Harry, "You should go on the vacation alone. I don't think this will work out between us. We don't love each other, and money can't fix that." Harry replied, "I don't think love is something I can even feel. I've never had it." Lucy said, "When it happens to you, love will feel like the easiest thing in the world." Harry then revealed he had increased his height by 6 inches, which meant he used to be 5 feet 6 inches. He said, "If I was still that height, I wouldn't have been able to approach someone like you." Lucy replied, "Yes, you would have." The scene shifts to John's place. Lucy was standing outside his house. John came out, all dressed up. Lucy said, "I was supposed to go to Iceland, but I didn't. And I already rented out my apartment for a few days." Which meant Lucy was planning to stay with John. But John said, "You won't be able to stay here." Then added, "Come on, let's go for a drive. Maybe we'll find a place to stop along the way." They both went for a drive. Along the way, they spotted trucks from John's catering company. Following the trucks, they ended up at a wedding. John and Lucy sat far away, watching the ceremony. Lucy said, "One day, these two will start hating each other for no reason. They'll get sick of each other, get divorced, and then fight over who gets what." Later, both of them dressed up and went to dinner. They started dancing. Then they started to kiss. But suddenly, John pulled away and stepped outside. He said, "What are we doing? Are we getting back together?" Lucy replied, "I don't know." John asked, "So, did you come to me just to forget about your boyfriend? Or do you feel sorry for me, because I'm some pathetic guy who can't get his life together?" Lucy said, "No." John said, "When I look at your face, I see little kids. Kids that look just like you." And then he said, like a friend, "Living with someone like me, a failure who's done nothing with his life, that would be a terrible idea." He continued, "It's been years, and I still can't afford to be with you." Lucy said, "It's not about that. We're not together because I'm the problem. I'm materialistic. Even now, I'm still thinking, if I marry you, I'll always be eating at crappy restaurants, riding around in your beat-up car. I'm still doing the math. So how can you even love someone like me?" Lucy walked away. And just then, she got a call from Sophie. Sophie said, "That guy Mark is sitting outside my house. And I had no one else to call but you. She told Lucy she had already called the police. But they said unless Mark tries to break in, they can't do anything. Right now, he's just ringing the doorbell. Lucy said, "Don't let him in. I'm coming right now." Lucy and John rushed to Sophie's place. But by the time they arrived, Mark was already gone. Lucy went in to comfort Sophie. Sophie was crying. She was scared. Laughing through her tears, she said, "I seriously need a boyfriend, so I don't have to keep calling my matchmaker during emergencies." Lucy replied, "You'll find one. I believe that." The next morning, John was still there. He said, "You once asked me why I love you. Loving you is the easiest thing in the world." Lucy said, "I love you too. More than you even know." John smiled and said, "I've been overthinking for so long. I love you now like I loved you before. And I'll love you until the day I die. That's a lifelong guarantee. Take it if you like the offer." Lucy said, "Deal." John decided it was time to find a real job. He was going to move forward with his acting career too. Then the scene jumps forward a bit. John is walking out, carrying a box of chicken and rice, heading toward Lucy. Meanwhile, Lucy gets a call from her boss. "I'm heading to the London office, and I've recommended your name to replace me here." Lucy laughs and says, "That's funny. I was sitting here with my resignation letter ready." Her boss says, "Don't quit. Ask for any salary you want. You'll get it. Just think it over." And then John shows up. He proposes to Lucy with a flower ring. And with that, friends, this story comes to an end. Let us know how you like the explanation in the comments. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.